What's up, everyone? This is Peter.
YOLO, this is Elihu.
You're listening to Pineapple Chunks right now, and we're going to be talking about Jerome Powell, the chairman of the Fed, coming out saying a lot of positive things that have made the market boom.
Saving the day today, February 23rd, 2021. We're also going to touch up on Miami's tech scene and how the exodus out of San Francisco and New York is making a big impact in this beautiful city as it steadily grows its tech hub.
Yeah, Miami's really coming out to be the best place to be in the world.
It's looking like it. It's looking like the hotspot right now.
Amid all of this crazy...
It's definitely not Texas.
Definitely not Texas. Unfortunately, Texas got a little messed up because, well, there's snow out there. Apparently, Bill Gates is behind. Have you heard any of that?
I have not. What is this?
The people can't melt their snow with the lighter, and then when they put it in a microwave, it just explodes.
That sounds more like Texan snow than anything else.
I don't know. If you put your tinfoil hat, it's all Bill Gates. But if you take it off, you realize that snow doesn't liquefy. It actually just turns into vapor. Just uneducated people wanting to
First, he
believe.
doesn't believe in Bitcoin. Now he's responsible for the Texan snow.
Yeah. And he didn't believe in Tesla either. You know, he apparently had some short positions. Elon Musk revealed that in his interview with Joe Rogan.
Elon Musk can see who's shorting his stock?
Well, he heard it from somebody. It's like allegedly.
It's probably locker room talk.
Locker room talk, yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
Well, he definitely did say that Elon Musk couldn't pull off the Cybertruck.
He's such a hater.
Well, whatever.
Such a hater.
He calls Jeff Bezos Jeff Bezos.
And he's planning on partnering with him to stop climate change.
Oh, my God.
I wonder how that's going to go down.
Two evil villains getting together to rule the world. But Jerome Powell made it all better today. I mean, the markets took a nasty, nasty hit. Let me see if I can pull up a chart really quick so I can show you all what happened in the S&P 500 and how Jerome Powell pretty much saved the day. One moment, please. So right here, as you can see, the chart as it presents, this is 20 days, 1 hour chart. We hit a high of $395 around February 12th. But today, let's talk about today. Today, we took a nasty, nasty dive all the way to $380, but then recouped all these losses all the way to $388.
Yeah, it's like if you dropped your bowl of cereal in the morning and spilled milk all over the place. But then you realize that the milk was just water and it evaporated. So everything kind of got back to normal.
I mean, at least it was more risk on for the majority of investors. And for those of you wondering, Jerome Powell, he's the chairman of the Federal Reserve. He's the one who's in charge of the money printer going burr.
And he's a hero.
He's a hero.
Really. Not all heroes wear capes.
And he was speaking today at the Banking, Housing, and Urban Affairs Committee meeting with Congress, a few senators. And, he just came out and because, look, there was a big concern with the 10-year Treasury interest rates. And for those of you who don't know what Treasury bills are, they're basically bonds, which is, someone lending money to the government. And Jerome Powell, was basically quelling the fears that these interest rates were going up. And pretty much, we've explained this in the episodes before, but when interest rates go up for any kind of treasury bill or a bond that is given by the government, people tend to say, hey, I'd rather put my money in a safer place, like with the government, than risk it with stocks like Tesla and Uber and Snapchat and stuff like that, because it's just, at least I can maintain my money. I know I'm going to get paid back. And the interest rate trickled to like 1.38%. And And so, the market took a dip like how we see here. It's been on a losing streak for a couple days
Yeah,
since its
and
highs.
the interest rates going up is it's basically like when you're seeing dark clouds form in the sky, you know it's about to rain. Just like with interest rates going up, you know that the stocks might start going down because bonds are going to be more favorable, and so money is going to move over to that sector, right?
Yeah, and it's pretty much like it's almost like a rule. It's just like what investors do with their money. I mean, they're very much inversely correlated, and what that means is that when bonds go up, like when the interest rates on bonds go up, the stock market typically goes down. But when interest rates on bonds go down, then the stock market goes up. And
It's a yin and yang.
it's a yin and yang. It's a inverse correlation, and pretty much we had during the pandemic, during the coronavirus pandemic, we had the Fed, Jerome Powell, chairman of the Federal Reserve, Jerome Brady, came out and said, hey, we're lowering interest rates, and pretty much saying invest in the stock market, go out there. He just said go ahead and risk on. Like let's get back to normal, because we can't have people locking up their money because one person's income is another person's
Income.
No, wait, one person's spending is another person's income. So one person's spending is another person's income, and if someone stops spending, then another person loses their income. So that was a measure that a policy, supportive monetary policy that Jerome Powell put into place in order to help, Americans and the United States economy.
It was just like
the market.
basically chill, fam. Go get those tendies. It's gonna be all right.
Right, and he said that, we're not going to stop using our tools, which is lowering interest rates and also buying bonds, buying securities. It's a very it's a relatively complex situation, but it can be very simple if you understand it like this. There are ways that the Federal Reserve is an independent bank, right? It's not connected with the government. But they print money pretty much. They print money in order to buy bonds from the government.
Printer go brrrr, just like that.
Exactly, just like that. And when the Federal Reserve buys bonds from the U.S. Treasury, they pretty much, it's called quantitative easing. And so that what that means in a nutshell is that they're just buying the bad debt or the debt that the government can't pay back themselves in order to help the economy grow, and have investors invest in stocks and in companies so they can basically keep people's income coming in and, keep people spending.
I wonder if it's because we need these companies that are so innovative to keep getting funded in order for us to recover from this pandemic, because the more money that goes into these stocks, the more innovation and the more solutions that come about, especially now that we're trying to solve like climate change and Biden's all about the Green Deal or whatever. So I wonder if this is just incentive to keep funding these companies in order to help recover from this pandemic that we just are getting out of.
Well, that's exactly what it is. It's to incentivize that sort of innovation, that sort of growth, people to go out and spend more. And I mean, so there was a big concern about inflation, and at least amongst investors, that's what people were talking about. But then Jerome Powell comes out and says, hey, we're not really worried about inflation. We're going to continue to buy $120 billion worth of securities, i.e. bonds, a month, $120 billion worth of bonds a month, in order for interest rates to stay low. And so you guys can, so investors like us can keep on investing, and things will be good. And so he implied that the Fed isn't worried about inflation, and he is pretty much the chairman of the Federal Reserve. And he foresees upward spending in Q2 of 2021, which, more spending, when people spend more money, that usually causes prices to rise. Another way of understanding it is inflation. And at the end of the day, he said, hey, the job's not done, and we want people to keep getting back into work. I mean, there's still record high unemployments, especially in the Black and Hispanic communities, relative to the white communities. There's 9% Black unemployment, 8% unemployment for Hispanics, and only 4% for white individuals. So low wage workers, they're around 14% below pre-pandemic levels, so they're not very much employed. So he's still continuing to enact policy that is supportive enough to keep people investing in the markets and making money more accessible to those who need it. So at the end of the day, it's a good sign, and it pumped up the markets as we saw here. Pretty much it was a minor correction, very minor correction. I mean, we've been seeing this for the past couple of days, but it looks like things are looking okay. Will we ever get to the highs that we saw prior to this? I don't know. Will we ever get back to 395 on the SPY? I don't know.
I think we probably will.
We might.
I mean, buy the dip was trending on Twitter today in the U.S. and that says one thing only, and that is that retail investors and pretty much any investor that's had their skin in the game in the stock market, that is, for the past few years, understands very well the concept of buying the dip, because more likely than not, it's going to bounce back. And buying the dip is just buying stocks at a nice discount where you can make money, a lot more money in the short term.
Yeah, you buy low and then you sell high. That's pretty much the way to do it, and that's how you make a profit. So, yeah, I agree completely, and it's great that Jerome Powell believes that he wants to support the economy as much as we can, and we'll see what happens. And then we also have stimulus coming. The stimulus bill for $1.9 trillion was approved in Congress today, actually. And, it's not necessarily like the money's coming right away. The Congress, at least the Democrats slipped in the $15 minimum wage in there. But, it's going to be discussed in the Senate. And it's going to take some more time. So it's not like the money's coming right away. But still, it's definitely a positive sign. So we'll see what that amounts to later on in the year. So everybody's exercising a little bit more caution. It's very healthy.
It's a little wake-up call.
And
it's like, wow, not everything,
not everything
goes up forever.
Yeah, that was...
What goes up must come down.
That was a big realization. And then, like, with Bitcoin, we can go ahead and see what Bitcoin's done. Bitcoin took another dip, unfortunately, and that happened. So... But it's coming back up as well. So, crypto, the stock market, things are going back to a little bit more of euphoria. But this is a healthy correction nonetheless. Square, which is the owner of Cash App, just came out and said that they bought $170 million worth of Bitcoin. Let me just confirm that. That is $170 million worth of Bitcoin. So, there's still a lot of bullish signs around Bitcoin. Elon Musk did go ahead and say the price was too high, so there's some speculation that that's why the price went down.
He's a market maker.
And he's so similar to Trump in a sense. He's like the closest thing we have to Trump now.
They do
Twitter.
rhyme, that's for sure. But Bitcoin, I think, recovered really nicely. We hit the $1 trillion market cap for Bitcoin when it reached 56,000, and we haven't really gotten there since. I think right now it's at 49,000. It was at 47 like an hour ago. It's recovering quite nicely, and overall, I'm still very hopeful that we're gonna pass 56,000 and keep going forward. This was just a small hiccup, a much-needed correction in the cryptosphere. Just like the stock market needed a correction and got it, the cryptosphere also needed a correction and got it. Things were going a lot more up in a very vertical direction and not much hiccuping. So this is good. This also brings a wake-up call to people in crypto that not everything goes up forever. And a lot of people were also buying the dip there. So a lot of profits will be made in the coming weeks as crypto continues to grow and as the stock market continues to grow. Um, but
Speaking of growth, though, Miami,
yeah, no. So yeah, let's
Miami
transition
being
into
the new tech hub in South Florida.
So in late January, SoftBank Group, we've talked about them on the show before. They're a large investor from China. They announced a $100 fund directed at Miami's exploding tech scene. Uh, this is the latest validation that Miami is indeed booming, right? If SoftBank, a very renowned investment fund, is investing in the future of Miami, that says a lot. They've invested in a lot of successful companies here in the United States, including Amazon and even what's that robot dog company again? Spot. They even invested in Spot. So I mean, they got a good head on their shoulders. The CEO can be a little sketchy, but that's just China for you. And yeah, Miami is quickly evolving to accommodate increasing demand as it becomes a growing startup destination from emerging elder tech to biotech. It's an attractive investment market that offers unique opportunities for immigrants and minorities to pursue, just entrepreneurship and all the opportunities that this wonderful city has to offer.
Yeah, and also regulation here is very entrepreneurial friendly. And there's low taxes,
Right.
and there's also amazing weather. I mean, yeah, it gets hot during the summer, but it totally beats being locked up in California because of this coronavirus. I mean, we've recently seen a lower tick in coronavirus cases, and Florida has been just doesn't care, doesn't give a damn about coronavirus. So
We're
I think
YOLOing and aping in to the world. We don't care. And it also doesn't snow here, which is pretty big plus. I don't think we'll experience anything similar to what just happened in Texas.
But there are some challenges. The Miami tech ecosystem is smaller than the Bay Area or New York, and it's also less intense. I mean, and we're from Miami. We know that if you're supposed to be somewhere at 5:30, that means anywhere between 6 and 6:30. But it's tight knit, and it's welcoming to newcomers. Everybody's pretty friendly here, and there's local hospitality. Local hospitality in Miami it's kind of transient in nature, but because of many Latin Americans coming in and out every year, and there's just not it's very everybody's pretty much under like just as open to meeting new people and accommodating, and there's been huge hedge fund managers, venture capitalists, even Melvin. Well, his name's not Melvin, but the guy who runs Melvin Capital, it's something Plotkin, just recently bought like a $30 million home on Miami Beach here on South Beach, and I guess he didn't get hit that hard from the short squeeze.
Yeah, well, also he's not gonna have to pay that much in taxes. So.
Right. So I mean, he's able to live here. I mean, it's really great. I don't know why it's taking this long for Miami to pop. Well, it's probably because of the weather. It gets really hot here in the summer.
Yeah, but you get used to it. I mean, it's a nice time.
Hopefully, there's some startup that comes out with some innovative outside air conditioning or something like that, or we just get Bill Gates to put some snow out here.
Oh my. But yeah, I mean, some rising industries that a lot of startups are focusing on in Miami are things such as fintech. Obviously, there's agritech, and education. Right, there's a lot of startups just targeting those industries, and it's really interesting because here in Miami, you're getting people from a variety of different backgrounds. Right, we have a huge Latino demographic here, minorities in general, and a lot of good talent right? A lot of diversification. And we've been seeing a lot more studies about businesses uh, bringing back more revenue year after year if they are diversifying, right? Not only in just lifestyle and life stories, but in just culture. So Miami is a melting pot, and getting, sourcing employees from out here is can be seen as a very advantageous thing to do for companies that are expanding their offices out into this beautiful city.
Right. I mean, and those of you from Miami, you know that it's physically dispersed. There's Brickell, there's Wynwood, there's Coconut Grove, there's Coral Gables, and then there's the completely separate networks of Fort Lauderdale, Tampa, like
Homestead.
so there is a bit of there isn't like one place that you would go to in a sense. There's just pockets of startups and
Right. It's not just Miami. Miami is just kind of the umbrella term, but I guess if you consider the other counties around us, that's just it's booming with talent. So
right. We would have like Miami. It's tough to call Miami the Bay Area because the Bay Area is an actual place.
Yeah.
I mean, Miami. It's not like Miami isn't a place, but it's just Miami's very spread out. It's very horizontal. So I mean, and we don't really have a big focus on contribution to universities, especially top tier institutions that pretty much churn out talent in a way. So there definitely needs to be a bigger focus out there to get talent. But if we just bring them over here, and they'll fall in love with the city. I mean, it's nothing but nightclubs and beautiful women and beaches. It's just a wonderful place to be. And we have Blackstone that's already come out here with an office. There's some hedge funds that are moving out here.
And our mayor Suarez is
Oh yeah,
trying to put Bitcoin on the payroll, which is, Miami's the first metropolitan city to actually even do that.
yeah. You would think California was gonna do that
Right.
first, but no.
But
Gavin Newsom has nothing on Suarez, huh?
right.
He even put a billboard out in
Did he really?
Yeah, he put a billboard in LA saying, if you're thinking about moving to Miami, DM me. A fat billboard.
That's
in,
a good
in
that's
LA.
a good billboard. That's so LA. I think a really good reason to be optimistic about Miami is just the slow but steady growth of the local tech community that has happened over the past 8 to 10 years. So now we have several large tech companies based here in South Florida, such as Chewy, Magic Leap, Reef, and a much larger pool of local talent, important regional offices for companies like Google, Facebook, Uber, etc., and other large corporations that have been opening tech offices here.
And not to mention the local people, like Emerge Americas, which is trying to connect, the Latin American startups to the American startups in Florida, or the Miami-based startups in Florida. Emerge America is actually, run by the Medina family, which owns Sistera Cybersecurity, or is it Xterra? No, it's Sistera, I believe. I'll check up on that. But then there's also the Lab Miami, which is like an accelerator. There's startup.
There's Ironhack. You were part of Ironhack, no?
Yeah, I did Ironhack for a little bit. The Ironhack's more like a boot camp that helps you. Like it's like 2 months where they teach you how to either code or do user experience, user interface design, and then they get you a job. And it's a little bit different, but yeah, I mean that helps fuel the talent pool for companies that pretty much want to hire local. I know the University of Miami is already doing boot camps as well for tech development.
Yeah, I mean the schools here are also pretty incredible. I think Miami-Dade County Community College is the best community college in the country. They just offer a bunch of, that alone should say a lot about the education atmosphere here. But
they're mostly like business administration and
no, they're tapping into like a bunch of different sectors.
Well, I know they're trying to emphasize tech, but as far as like the talent for developers and
Yeah,
coders, it's not.
you're gonna find more hands-on experience with like smaller firms.
There just hasn't been a reason for intelligent tech developers to even want to go to school here, because like there aren't really that many great paying jobs. Like you usually just go to the Bay Area to get hired by Google,
Yeah.
or you go to Seattle, get hired by Microsoft or Facebook or something like that. But now, like, I mean, now there's a bigger emphasis on remote work too. So if you're the type of person who doesn't like their freedoms infringed upon and enjoys beaches, pina coladas,
I mean, this is where people want a vacation. We live where you vacation. It's so cringy when people say that, but like it's
no,
true.
it's true.
It's so true. And I mean, people come here to relax, so why not come here and relax and also start your career and make money?
Yeah, I mean, literally, it doesn't stop here. I mean, I think and you never really have to vacation anyway, because, yeah, how you said, we live where people vacation. You know, you never really have, like, you don't really have a stressful moment at the end of the day. Like in New York, you know, you got to leave New York to vacation, but here you could just, you finish work, you go to the beach, and that's it. Like you're pretty much in a vacation spot.
Right. And yeah, guys, it gets hot here, but I mean, the beach breeze really helps cool you down. And with that, I think we're going to conclude the show. Thanks for listening. Go Bitcoin, go stock market, and go Miami.
Yeah, and please be sure to leave a comment if you're listening to this on Apple Podcasts. Really helps the show. Take a look at our merch. Well, actually, we need to figure out our merch situation.
Yeah.
But you know, just keep in mind, we're doing this show every week, coming up with a bunch of new ideas for you, and stay tuned.
Bye bye.